Alright, what's up guys? We're back with another death battle. This is Metal Sonic versus Cell. Now, I know quite a bit about Cell, I know quite a bit about Metal Sonic. So I'm just going to say Metal Sonic wins. I don't see why this is a death battle. Part of me do, part of me don't. But let's just get into it. We're not going to get too much into the intro. Everyone here knows about Cell and Metal Sonic. So let's get into this.
Fight! Cell versus Metal Sonic.
Which copycat android is truly the superior model?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. There's a monster stalking Gingertown. No one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale. All it left behind was their clothes.
Let's be real. This was the most terrifying Dragon Ball saga ever.
Only a shadow behind.
Without a doubt. I haven't read the manga, but let's talk about Dragon Ball Z. This was the most terrifying Dragon Ball Z saga. Cell was a beast.
The Namekian Piccolo went to investigate this manslayer and discovered that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims. And as scientist, Dr. Gero,
hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory,
I love that movie. That was a good movie.
Android.
However, none of Gero's creations were capable of matching that drive to improve that Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed.
Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Gero's death to complete. Its name was Cell.
Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the genetic information of all the greatest warriors that had battled on Earth, and, when fully evolved, would become unstoppable.
And with their DNA, Cell absorbed all their powers and techniques too.
Common among
Cell knows the multiform technique,
which is still one of the most awesome techniques in Dragon Ball that they don't use enough.
Oh, weird, I'm not seeing Jiatsu on this list. Sorry, bud.
Why would Jiatsu be on this list?
Okay. Cell can fire the Death Beam, as well as breathe in and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father.
And because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to
that
his
regeneration
body
ability of Piccolo's is actually low-key a broken ability too.
Half his body vaporized multiple times and cannot be destroyed.
I feel like they don't utilize it enough, but they should.
Being is eradicated.
Time they almost died.
They can even evolve to become orders.
Which I am kind of mad that they kind of threw that away.
Combine that with Cell's healing factor,
I felt like that was an awesome plot.
The ultimate warrior,
like a perpetual shonen motion machine.
They would have used the right. It could have.
Imperative.
It is what it is. Dragon Ball. I still love Dragon Ball.
Previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect.
Only one problem. The Cell we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not
developing a lust for battle.
He became less creepy bug serial killer and more, well, Saiyan. After exploiting that very Saiyan arrogance and warrior's pride, Cell finally became perfect.
And easily dominated Trunks and Vegeta, the latter of whom had decades of battle experience under his belt.
Perfect Cell's power was
that was Vegeta's fault. Let's be honest, that was Vegeta's fault.
Just by powering up. With a full power Kamehameha, he was even capable of destroying
Krillin. I'm going to blame Vegeta partially, because we all knew what was going to happen. Come on now, Krillin.
By the evil and oval Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
And time and again, that same world and those same critters were saved by Sonic the Hedgehog. No matter how many robotic badniks the good doctor threw at his blue spiky nemesis, his schemes were always 6 spin jumps to the glowing weak spot away from getting cracked and scrambled.
But it wouldn't be over easy for Eggman. If he couldn't defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own, Metal Sonic.
Well, 0 points on creativity for that name, but goddamn, he does look metal as hell.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so Eggman built Metal with more than enough blast processing to match his prototype.
Metal can zoom around at massively hypersonic speeds, fast enough to fly to nearby planets in seconds.
He's tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes.
Metal can use all of Sonic's power-ups, and even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack.
But he's got moves of his own.
He can attack with energy blast, fire a chest laser, surround himself in an electric aura, or an impenetrable force field.
By overloading his circuitry with energy, Metal can activate V Maximum Overdrive, quadrupling his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path, at the risk of self-destructing.
You'd think all that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill, but it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap.
On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and yet he doesn't. For some
Yeah.
reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive. Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpened his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior.
Yeah, well,
And
when
that
you're
he's
getting
the
your
real Sonic.
supersized red ass handed to you by Charmy B, you know something's gone horribly wrong.
Metal's defeats gave him an existential crisis. If he was created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he? Why should he exist?
Never one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal back to the drawing board and birthed him anew.
This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter.
Especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we mean literally copied. If
Yeah.
Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Neo Metal Sonic is equipped with scanners in his optic receptors that can copy a person's biodata, giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities in seconds.
Like the Sonic Boom, Knuckles' Hammer Punch,
Yeah,
Tails'
like I said,
magical
Metal Sonic
swirling
broken,
asshole,
guys.
and Big's ability to suck at fishing.
Metal isn't just learning their moves, he can replicate more esoteric powers like Silver Psychokinesis, manufacture Rouge's mechanical bat guards, or on the planet, the god of destruction, Chaos.
Not the only chaos he's encountered.
By scanning the
Well-
ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, he gained his ability to manipulate some of the most powerful artifacts in the universe.
You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes, the emeralds contain an infinite wellspring
I
of
didn't even know that
mystical
was a
power
meme.
and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform into Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Completely invulnerable and completely golden, Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents.
The emeralds are inconceivably
Yeah.
powerful. They've been used to fuel Eggman's Death Egg, which could obliterate star systems.
On their own, they can even create and destroy whole universes.
Other super characters like Sonic have battled and defeated beings like the Time Eater, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 super hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse.
So Super Neo Metal Sonic should be just as powerful as any of them, though he's gotta be quick because all that power only lasts a short time.
The road to total domination was nearly at an end. After manipulating Sonic and friends and copying their abilities, Metal eventually combined their biodata with the mighty Egg Fruit.
I just
and
realized I was
became
way too focused on
data
it.
through all possibilities.
But let's get
It's
into this,
time
guys.
for a death battle!
The more I think about it, the more I can't see this death battle. Only because the franchises are very similar. Or, I say, Sonic takes a lot of inspiration from Dragon Ball.
Salutations, Dr. Robotnik. Your reputation precedes you. Bring me your strongest fighter, or face... Then prepare to kneel before your master.
I already got him a Neo Sonic. I mean, well, it only makes sense. Because Cell won't be able to copy him.
Tell me, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear?
He got that directly from the They really should bring Cell back. You know, let's make that a thing. Let's bring Cell back just for one arc. Any arc. Just do an arc with Cell coming back. I know it would never happen.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form.
Oh, that was amazing.
Already possesses data. Observe. Chaos. Control. Life form data successfully copied. Scan. It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet!
Thing of it is, Cell, because he has Saiyans and cells in him, DNA. Oh, so now he can actually go Super Saiyan. Yeah. Well, I say with that, you surpass Sonic, Metal Sonic. Because Sonic could never go Super Saiyan alone. Golly, this is amazing. Tri-beam.
Don't you dare.
Tri-beam. That's kind of fucked up doing the tri-beam. Lose. Don't have to lose to Tien's ability. But Tien got a lot of amazing abilities.
I am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them! If you are all of them, then so am I.
Yeah, then I surpassed that. That time stop ability is very broken for anybody. Technically, still, you're a machine. But alright. That some of the hype is kind of taken away because I knew this would happen.
I'll crush you.
KO! So now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and the Z Fighters? Well, that world's fucked. Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go, especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like Time Eater and Solaris can destroy the wider multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time Eater's destructive wave traveled at about 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Certainly impressive, but let's compare that to Goku's flight from heaven to hell shortly after the Cell games, which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Hey, just like Time Eater. The difference, though, was that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers, Super Perfect Cell can move upwards of 100 times faster than that, and so 100 times faster than Metal Sonic. Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed. You know, the thing Metal was designed for.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could tip the scales.
They shared many of the same powers, like telekinesis, force fields, and energy projectiles. Of note though, Cell's regeneration was clearly superior, able to fully heal from a single cluster of microscopic cells.
On top of that, Cell's Saiyan genes would let him grow in power every time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the numbers advantage.
And considering Super Neo Metal had a time limit, Cell would have a big advantage in a battle of attrition.
But with Chaos Control, that became a lot tougher.
Cell and his juniors had no way to deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time, something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And with Silver's psychokinesis, or the Emerald spatial distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back on his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Oh,
Metal Man
shoot, I
copied
forgot
Ant
about
Man's
that.
brains,
What?
but
He
he
was
definitely
technically
isn't as good of a fighter.
very
The
young.
Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind,
Yeah.
abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
And frankly, that's where this back and forth completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, Metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb Metal.
Cell's ability to physically absorb an opponent is primarily viable against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took Metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb Android 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only called androids in the English translation.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
Yeah,
And
but
using
so
it
the
on
technical
Cell means he
cyborgs.
wouldn't just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z Warriors too.
Remember, Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his own biology, like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits, especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place, quite literally biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's regeneration? Copied. Cell's key techniques? Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki. So there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set.
Yeah.
And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level, just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z Fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, cause Metal can do anything Cell knows how to do. Strange, isn't it?
Cell just doesn't have any options to retaliate that Metal wouldn't also possess, including any of his previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that overpowered.
Oh, I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
Why's that?
Cell died.